Now, the Transport Department, of course, revealing that more than 1,300 people died on our roads this festive season. Graeme Scala represents the Automobile Association of South Africa. He's come into studio this afternoon. Thank you very much for your time, Graeme. I mean, what stays with me from the Minister's address today is that image of 3 Boeing 747s worth of human beings perishing on our roads this festive season.
It is. It's a bleak picture, Joanne. You know, if you compare South Africa to some of the global numbers, we are really at the bottom of that list. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Our numbers are atrocious, and these numbers, nearly 1,400 people. That's just in 1 month. You know, that's December. Technically speaking, it's a month and a week, but really it's over a festive season. But the numbers generally are atrocious. You know, we lose about 1,000 people a month, about 40 a day. So.
Graeme, we see the ongoing campaigns by NGOs, we see government step in. There is indeed enhanced policing on the roads, more visible policing over the holidays. What more can be done in our country at this point?
It's a multifaceted approach. I think what we really need is more visible policing, but around the year. It can't focus on festive season, whether it's December or the April Easter period. It really needs to be a 365 24/7 effort. And really visible policing doesn't mean sitting behind speed cameras and prosecuting on speed alone. It means prosecuting moving violations. It means breathalyzing people all times of the day, not just at night and not just over weekends.
Wouldn't you say, if I may come in there, though, that this festive season, when one does have a concentrated number of policemen, very dense numbers on the road, I mean, it should stand to reason that when policing is so visible and there is an increased effort by police to make sure that that death toll comes down over the festive season, simply because it's watched so closely, that I mean, we would expect better results. I mean, would it therefore then make any difference over the course of a year if the same sort of strategy was implemented?
One would think so, but you talk about a strategy. We've had 3 transport ministers in 3 years. So the strategy that everybody talks about, that we throw around, and there isn't anything really in place that we're aware of. So that strategy would include some changes to legislation. It would include a real clampdown by law enforcement. And visible policing. This is something that needs to happen around the year, like I said earlier, not just focusing on the festive season. But when we do have a high police presence during those festive season, one would think that the numbers would decline. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and it's really purely because there's a larger volume of vehicles on our roads, and people tend to be in a hurry. You know, it's the holidays. We've had a long year. We want to get away from it all, and it's got a lot to do with driver behavior as well. We're not just blaming government or a lack of strategy. It's also driver behavior. Driver behavior in South Africa really isn't where it should be. But this is something that will change only over time. And it's a hand-in-hand approach. Better law enforcement, stricter regulation, and that in time I think will change driver behavior.
Graeme, there's one issue I want to focus on which I think is quite important, and that is the issue of drunk driving. We saw the Sunday Times investigation a few days ago revealing only about 7% of drunk drivers supposedly are facing any kind of criminal conviction for their act, largely because of botched investigations. I mean, how worrying is that in the bigger picture? It's
of grave concern, it really is, and this is nothing new. This has been going on for many, many years. We have a fairly low level of arrest when it comes to drunk driving. The numbers, even over the festive season, it's in the thousands, but it's not enough. You know, we really should have this happening every single day, not just focus over a festive season. And yes, the level of prosecution is incredibly low. It's less than 10%, 7% you mentioned, according to the Sunday Times. That really is, I think, just what happens at the court level is a lot of those cases are kicked out for some minor technical reason. If a driver is over the limit, they're over the limit. I don't see where the complication comes in.
Graeme Scala, thank you very much for coming in to talk to us today.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.